Good morning, everybody. Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. Happy to have Rabbi back again for our Friday Fans and Faith stream. And you were just telling me you saw Black Widow.
I haven't seen the last 5 minutes yet, but
So did you pay
yes,
the money for Disney to watch it?
no. What I did was I paid illegally downloaded it, and I bought a cinema ticket. That's half the price of ticket, and because I figured that, and even that I don't think is fair. You know, I'm reviewing it. I don't want to watch it. It's like media has changed. I shouldn't have to do it, but like, I'm doing it because I believe in God. That's the only reason I pay for that garbage. Because I believe in God, and I think He might say no.
So how is it so far?
Pretty much as you would expect. Natasha Romanoff smashes the power of toxic masculinity, and that's essentially what it is. It's I'm still collating on it. It's badly directed. That's the first thing. It is very badly directed. It's not entirely clear what's going on. The storytelling isn't good. And the action is a bit flat, right? Things are like the sound isn't right. And I think it's basically like they got to have women behind the camera making it, and women just don't like action movies as much, right? So basically, bottom line, women don't like action movies that much. So if you're pulling from like, I don't know, 20-30% of your talent pool as opposed to 100% of your talent pool, and you've got to have 100% the people from that 20%, you're going to get lower quality. And it's not a disaster like a lot, like it's not like as painfully awful as Falcon and Winter Soldier. I think that's the worst one we've seen. Although Loki's pretty darn boring. And like Loki hurts me because it's like such a waste. Right, it's such an incredible waste of talent. Richard Grant was in the last episode, and he was really good. Right, he was really good as Loki. But like,
I haven't seen Loki, it. I'm not going to see it.
Loki is great, especially that last episode. Until women appear on the screen, then any women appearing on the screen, the quality goes instantly. And it's like I finally worked it out. Right, it's when ever women appear on the screen. It's a bit strange. You know what I'm saying? So it's a bit darn strange.
How would you rank it in the order of movies of the MCU?
It's around Ant-Man and Wasp level.
Ooh. So for those watching, and I sent the rabbi this. So I
yes. Don't you love being lectured on religion by atheists who don't know anything about religion? Isn't it great?
Eric Francisco of Inverse Magazine said the best Marvel movie, period. To which I responded, better than the Avengers, Winter Soldier, Iron Man, Guardians. And honestly, for me, the best three are the origin stories of Captain America, Iron Man, and Thor.
Yeah, it's still the best.
And he said, when I was a practicing Catholic, I guess he's not now, I was taught not to be an a-hole, but okay.
How are you being an arsehole when you ask him? That's a very legitimate question. Unless he's saying, listen, you know I'm lying, I know I'm lying, so you're being an arsehole by making me point out I'm lying. If that's the case, then okay, but you're still not being an arsehole because...
Well, he never answered my question.
It's a simple question, really? Yeah. No, it's not. It's not. And look, here's the problem with it, right? I like the kid. If you have an evil philosophy that you're writing from, which the evil philosophy they're writing from is men and women are interchangeable. Men and women are, and it's just not true. I'm sorry, it's just not true. And we're starting to see the first, first signs of how much damage that's causing in the world. And like God only knows what's going to happen to all these kids who are like been brainwashed into weird sexual practices, which is just not something they want to do. Like we're just starting to see the beginning of it now. So when you have when you take sex appeal out of a spy movie, which is what they've done here. When you take sex because they're not allowed to have sex appeal in it because that's the male gaze. But it just is flat. It doesn't work. Like James, here's the problem they have though, because they say men and women are interchangeable, and James Bond's a very sexy guy, but he's like very craggy. He can get older and be sexy, right? Scarlett Johansson can't. And so they try and do the same things they do with James Bond, but men and women are not interchangeable. So while Bond will do something and he has sex appeal doing it, when Scarlett Johansson does the same thing, she doesn't. And it's really important to this genre, like really important. And without it, it's just kind of flat. It really is just not. Look, you can see Kevin Fege's hand in it. It's still proficient. It's not like Doctor Who bad. New Doctor Who being announced in a couple of weeks, apparently.
Whoop.
Did you? That's the rumor going around. But I'm amazed if that's the case. I am truly amazed.
I honestly can't believe I'm saying meh to new Doctor Who. I mean, having grown up with it, I honestly could care less now.
Because it's not Doctor Who, is it?
And again, that's why. I point to the picture in the background.
Yeah, right. It's not Doctor Who. That's why it's a weird bus.
Next to the picture of Jesus.
Next to it. Well, yeah, I'm glad Jesus is a little bit higher. Okay. I like Tom Baker. I like Tom Baker. PD Richards saying he heard that Disney is doing buying box of seats again, like they did with.
I wouldn't be surprised.
That's the only way. I think it makes sense economically because they get back 2/3 of the ticket price or something ridiculous. So let's say they spend $10 million buying tickets, right? So then they're actually only spending $3 million, right? Or 3.3 or whatever. and the buzz that it'll give them, say, #1 movie, everybody's seen it. The buzzer, but they'll make that back up easily. But I'm just trying to think what more. So the David Harbour is the best thing in the movie, but they make him like just dumb and stupid throughout. There's no spark of heroism in them. And when you have something like Guardians of the Galaxy, you can have characters like Drax, who's kind of stupid, right? But also heroic, right? Right. But they can't make him heroic because he's a guy. Because it's got this evil philosophy going. It's written for and by women who feel that they are an oppressed underclass, and you're not. I'm sorry, Scarlett Johansson. In fact, I would say, reasonably attractive women, white women in the Western world are the most privileged people in the history of our planet. More privileged than kings, more privileged than presidents. They are the most privileged people in the history of our planet.
Now, I don't know if you saw this response I got.
No.
But this is I can hear myself.
No, it's not. What do you say?
The funny part is, this is written by somebody from the Mary Sue.
Well, obviously they're going to like it because it's full of the agenda that they say it's not there, that we're imagining.
And this was my response to her because I was trying to be very careful of trying not to sound like a real a-hole.
Right.
By saying, you write for the Mary Sue, so I automatically don't take what you say seriously.
Right.
So I try to get her opinion what the other two movies are. And I'm assuming the first one would be Captain Marvel and probably Black Panther.
I would say Iron Man 3 is better than Ant-Man and Wasp.
Avengers. I like Ant-Man. I mean, the first Ant-Man movie was great. The second was
Yeah. Okay, Ant-Man, I think it's on a par with it. I still think it's more interesting than Ant-Man. I'll be honest with you. Ant-Man was a bit disposable. But, okay, Ant-Man and Wasp, so we can agree there. Avengers Endgame. I think Iron Man 3 was better than Avengers Endgame. Avengers Endgame was a bit of a discombobulated mess. That didn't really work.
Too much force upon us.
Right. And the effect shot at the effects battle at the end was awful. It was really genuinely bad. It was muddy. It was dark. It was I just don't think it worked very well. Does anybody think Scarlett's career would be no? Yeah. She's 100% where she is because she looks so
exactly. And the Critical Drinker had a good video about that. I mean, I it's not going to be anything scandalous for me to say as a priest. I think she's beautiful.
She is. But not just that. I think her beauty is part of her power.
Yeah.
Right, and then you depower the character by taking out the sex appeal, right? It's really what they did. And she knew it, and it was like they do make fun of like the male gazy poses that she didn't like the Iron Man 2, when she like does the why'd you have land with your leg out here and you flick your hair back? It seems very posy.
Getting into the boxing ring.
No, it was like it's the famous shot from Iron Man 2 when she's like crouching down, one leg is out.
Oh yeah.
So why do you always do that? It's so posy, and I'm like, because it makes the movie good. That's why, and you don't, you can have them in combat boots and all that for a great deal of the movie, but you should have one scene where they're dressed to look attractive. And they introduce a new Black Widow. They introduce lots and lots of new Black Widows. 98% of them are black. 98% of them black. It's the weirdest thing. I mean, we're in the middle of Russia, for God's sake. And I normally look at these things and see the potential of what they could have done. I'm like, I couldn't even care less anymore. Enough. Just they could have done a real interesting family riff of like Guardians of the Galaxy sort of thing. They could have really have done that, but they chose not to. They chose not to because they want to say they're women are breaking the glass thing. We're breaking our oppression. What oppression exactly? We're oppressed. Oppression.
Well, the funny thing was, so I got a haircut yesterday, and my barber's a diehard MCU fan. And I was asking if he was going to go watch Black Widow, and he's excited for it. I'm like, I really could care less. And then I talked about what's coming up with the MCU with Ironheart, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel. I don't care anymore.
Yeah, I mean, that Miss Marvel series looks. I basically haven't cared since Endgame, and it's like every time they will something else, it's like they're wheeling out a corpse, and it really does feel like that. It's, I mean, like, but listen, these things not being popular is no stop to them being made. Right? It's just like it doesn't matter how unpopular they are, they still kept being made. It's so bizarre.
So I gotta respond to PD Rich. I did see Jeremy's video. This is about the San Francisco Gay Men's Choir, and I think did you watch the video?
Yeah, well, they're saying we're coming for your children. We're coming for you. We know that. Yes, we know. That's why. Get homeschool your kids. It's over. Again, apocalypse is coming. We're fine. But by the way, I do think you're safe to make it to the Nerdronic meetup, right? Yeah. Like I've now come to. I think the Jews may be in a bit of trouble this week, but or the next 10 days. So we're tonight. Today is the first day of on the month of Av. It starts tonight, and so we're in the 9 days, which is a really serious morning time where the Jewish temple was destroyed. We're in exile. We're still in exile, and the reason we're in exile because we're mean to each other. We speak badly about each other, and we still do today. And so they say any generation where the redemption doesn't end is like as evil as the generation of the exile. And I can attest. Yeah, that sounds right. I wasn't there, but I'm here, and I can attest. That's probably the case.
The first reading for Mass today was from Genesis, Israel going down to Egypt and being greeted by his son Joseph.
Right.
So, I mean, I'm enjoying those readings again.
Yeah, no, it's a good. Actually, really fascinating insight, right? Was it Rabbi Ari Khan said this, and I think it really holds water. At the beginning of the book of Genesis, they asked the question, "Am I my brother's keeper? Am I my brother?" And that was like, am I? Yeah, Cain says to Abel says, Cain says to God, "Am I my brother's keeper?" Right? And then that's kind of like the theme of the entire book of Genesis. It's like brotherhood, family, until you get to the end. You get to that scene, right, with Joseph, and the answer is yes. Even when your brothers hate you, even when your brothers want to kill you, you're still your brother's keeper, right?
Yeah.
Which actually, it's a good thing. You know what? That's a good thing to remember. But yeah, that choir thing is really disturbing. There's a lot of stuff that.
Well, I posted it on Facebook, and I do have cousins that are gay. I mean, but I posted Problem Bean's response to the video, basically saying he wants to vomit. That's the thing I like about Problem Bean is we don't talk about that.
The Problem Bean's sane. That's the thing.
Yeah, he's good. I love being with him. I mean, he's a good guy. I like him.
Yeah, but I think most gay people are sane. Probably. I've made a survey of all gay people, but I think he's much more representative than the loud crazes, right? Because we're not defined by our freaking sexuality. It's like there's more to life that goes on, outside of bed, right? And don't get me wrong, I like the bed bit. The bed bit's good, but to make everything about that, which is what they're doing, everything is about that. I don't know how anybody possibly defends drag queens in kindergartens.
Yeah,
it's so bizarre. It's so bizarre.
Well, that also is leading to. Hearing myself, sorry.
No, bro.
Wow, echo. So I don't know if you saw, but on Monday I did the stream for myself, and I was going to try to review the Tolkien Society, and I didn't get to see.
I remember you going to do it. Did I watch it? I can't remember. Anyway, yeah. Carry on.
But anyway, the thing was, I was really wanting to watch the Gondor and transition, understanding transgender realities in Lord of the Rings. And I wish I prepped more, because the education secretary for the Tolkien Society actually started commenting during my stream and basically saying that there's not one way that you could read Lord of the Rings. But the thing I'm still trying to the point I tried to make is, you're telling me that J.R.R. Tolkien, a devout Catholic, in the 1950s, when homosexuality was criminalized in England, was thinking that men could be women when he wrote Lord of the Rings.
So did he respond to it in any way?
I can't remember what all he was saying. He basically was just saying that there's not one way that you could read Lord of the Rings. You could read many things into it.
Okay, I'm fine. You can read anything into it you want, right? I'm fine. But stop telling me the things you read into it are the author's intent, because they're not. Yeah. That's what you're reading into it, right? J.R.R. Tolkien did not intend for, I don't think he even conceived of the idea that men would be women and women would be men, right? I don't think I still can't conceive of it. It's the most. It's like I know. How anybody says this is not the end of days is beyond me. This is the most evil I can imagine the world being. I mean, if we take biblical morality as the definition of good versus evil, this is the most evil it can get. It's like this is more evil than things like those special camps that people concentrate in, right? Because that you're going after somebody's body.
I mean, again. 60 million babies killed in the womb in this country alone. I mean, that's blood crying out to God.
You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. My argument about abortion is that how do you know you're not killing someone, right? I understand that you can't say, I can understand you say, well, I'm not definitely killing someone, but you might be. And honestly, I think if there's a medical need or even a strong psychological need, right? I can sort of there's arguments to be made for abortion. Right?
Well, in Catholic medical ethics, that would be falling under the principle of double effect. So, like an ectopic pregnancy where the egg gets fertilized in the tube. Right. Under medical ethics, you're treating the tube. You're not intending to kill the life of the unborn. It's an unintended consequence, but it could be morally permissible that way.
Right. Again, I think the idea of removing abortion from society is a very dangerous one. I think it's just going to make life much worse. cause a lot more. But Bill Clinton, safe, legal, and rare, mate. Safe, legal, and rare. If only he had meant that. Speaking of which, did you hear yesterday? I read this yesterday. Giuliani has started talking about the things on Hunter Biden's laptop, other than the crap pictures. What?
Again?
Well, there's stuff on it that he didn't talk about yet.
Why didn't he do it back before the election when it would have made a difference?
Because he assumed the FBI would investigate it and they weren't insanely corrupt.
Never assume. Well, you know what happens when you assume.
No, come on. This is a new reality. Could you imagine a reality where the NSA spies on a major, like a major journalist, and nobody gives a crap?
Yeah,
just on a politically journalist at a politically at odds with the
current government. They did that under Obama with that Fox reporter.
Yeah, but I think this is much more noticeable. This is not like a. But again, nobody cares. It doesn't matter. I think some more tragedy is coming for Jews. But after that, end of days, maybe. So I think you're good for the Vegas meeting. I really do. And quite frankly, I think if the apocalypse comes, it'll come to some place that's like very sinful, like Vegas last. I think it's going to spend a lot of time in New York and Washington.
Well, I would say it's a good thing Gary. I would say it's a good thing Gary's out of San Francisco.
Oh, thank God! Yeah. Listen, I'm. Well, we got this. Was it not this Sunday? Next Sunday is Tisha B'Av, the big Jewish fast, 25 hours fast, which is like nothing. You don't eat anything.
Oh, I can't imagine that.
It's actually it's not something. Okay, here's the trick: if you ever have to do it, almonds. Have a handful of almonds before you start, and that kind of makes you get through it. It's much easier that way. But the we had there's this what was his name? It's in,
Dan's here.
So who's here?
Dan's here.
Hey, Dan.
Yep, Tom Baker, right back there, autographed to me. I got that before his store shut down.
Oh right, yeah.
Well, because
so people are speculating. Yeah.
No, I was just saying before the bug shut down the world, his store allowed you to send an item for him to sign. You pay for the autograph on his website, and since the bug, his store has been shut down.
Okay, well, I'm glad you got there first.
I am too. I've had that down for almost 4 years.
So Tom Baker was one of the people I was speculating was going to be is a super secret guest at the Comic-Con, the Doctor Who Comic-Con pre-recorded thing.
Was it pretty sad when that doesn't even get me excited?
No, nobody. Well, that because they need somebody to replace Captain Jack, essentially, who's been cancelled, so they can't put him in. So I'm like, Tom Baker will be good casting. But the rumor is from Noel's channel. He just put a thing out apparently. It went out at 4 about they're announcing the casting of the 14th Doctor. I mean, I got to listen to his video about it, but wait a minute, I just saw some very good news from Jan. His new driver arrived today. That's great. That means I'm going to be getting season 24 soon. Anyway, so I was going to say, so they're speculating that it's going to be the next Doctor. I'm still going to be surprised. Okay, I'm still surprised if that's the case, but that's the rumor.
Cat's playing with my. So
in fact, you know what? Here, I'll have the sound off. I think it's just one of his text videos. So let me have a look. See if he's in it, because he put it out just. It was like 20 minutes, basically as we started, right?
What is this? Noel, you said?
Yeah, so I'm going over there now. Here is it. It's a 2-minute video. Here, let me make sure the sound's off. And I will read it to you as as it rolls. So Jodie Whittaker's successor to appear at Virtual Comic Con, according to information received. trailer and teaser introducing new Doctor. Interesting. Next Doctor is supposed to be a woman. Might be who we said initially. This is not, I repeat, from my sources. Interesting. So if it's not from your sources, where's it from?
Boy.
Here is the information for Pretty Record Web. Here, 1 second. 1 sec. Pretty Record, where I discuss this, is already done and scheduled. Okay, I'm not really sure what that means. So here comes a screen with a lot of text on it. Doctor Who Comic Con 2021. Oh boy, Whovians, I've been keeping this under wraps for 3 weeks. My brother's partner works as a freelance marketing assistant and has recently been hired at Comic Con at Home to help distribute their digital content for their upcoming panel. There's been some really cool content shared my way, but as a massive Doctor Who fan, I've been given some info which is too good not to share with you fine folks. This sounds like bollocks to me, okay? This just doesn't sound real. Let me see what the next screen is. Come on. Okay, I've read it. Here, no. If you're wondering what kind of content to expect at the upcoming panel, she has advised me to look back at the 2018 season 11 panel, where there are some huge parallels to that. We're going to get some really snazzy new artwork and posters. With this, there's a first look trailer at the upcoming season 13, and you'll get to hear what to expect from a new and reoccurring characters. There's a Q&A session for fans, but it's not live, so it must be pre-recorded. There's apparently also going to drop. They're apparently also going to drop the information about 2 specials coming in 2022, which will be Joda's Last. That means it'll be a 6-episode season, unless they're separate from this. I can't. No, who knows? Also, I didn't believe her about this at first, but she said the 14th Doctor will be revealed at Comic Con. My bro's partner hasn't told me who it is. She has said it's an actress, but that's all she's given away. I really didn't believe her, although I thought she was just kidding. But with the official announcement being billing a very special guest, a very special surprise guest, I don't think she's lying. The 14th Doctor will apparently join the panel for an exclusive first interview after the video is shown. Who the 14th Doctor is, I don't really believe this. I think there's another panel. Let's have a look. Another screen. Let me know what you think. Hit the like button. 1 second. Let me hit the like button. I've hit the like button. No. Okay. And here's a cute picture of Ted that we did just because we can. Okay, good. There's Teddy the doggy. Fine. So
I gotta play this since you just mentioned bollocks. Again, gotta get you to watch the IT crowd.
Oh God, I really want to see it. Wow.
Appropriate amount.
Bollocks.
Mr. Renham,
Yes, Your Honor.
I would ask you to refrain from using that kind of language in my courtroom.
And which word in particular do you object to, Your Honor?
You only said one.
Could you read it back?
Bollocks.
Don't read it back.
I love that show.
Have you ever seen What We Do in the Shadows?
I've heard of it.
So, it's got
the one with Matt Berry in it, isn't it?
Yeah, Matt Berry. Yeah, he's very good in that. He's very good at good at most things. I've got to see Toast of London.
I love Toast of London.
Sorry,
I love Toast.
I haven't seen that either.
He did an audiobook, basically a biography of himself, read by Barry S. Toast, and I mean it's worth it. It's only like a 2-hour read or listen, but I mean, I got introduced to Matt Berry through IT Crowd. I tried to watch part of the hospital drama that he was in. The drama.
Right.
Darth Menengi, I can't say it.
Maybe it's one of our Darth Menengi's same dark place. So but he's good. I like him in like most things he's in. Fine. So what?
3 weeks from today, I will be at the Jersey Shore on vacation.
Oh, I saw you post that on Facebook. What's that thing you posted on Facebook?
That was a cannoli.
Oh, good.
And there's
I'm looking
an
at it right now.
Italian bakery in Philadelphia that I've always gone to. They've been making these cannolis since like 1900.
All right. So there's a where did you say, in Philly?
Yeah, Philadelphia.
I lived there for 6 months. There's a very good. I'm not sure if it's still kosher, but that wouldn't be a problem for you. There was a place that wasn't kosher, and it became kosher while I was there. A deli, and they had this incredible Romanian pastrami. Oh my god, it was so good.
Oh,
if you ever can find that, it's really
4th
good.
Street, something like that. Because I went to a deli in Philly that gave you pretty much a pound of pastrami for a sandwich.
Yeah, that sounds about right. But this thing was just very flavorful. What was it? Rubens. Rubens is the name of that place. It's pretty good.
Okay, I might have been there.
Yeah, mate, it's an old timey place. I'm not sure if it's still there or if it's still kosher. But again, not being kosher wouldn't be a problem. So Derek McMahon says it sounds like a Shaggy Dog story by Jodie Bot. It does, doesn't it? I doubt that. I'll do a video. I'll do a video on Sunday, I guess. Let's give me some good content. Yeah, always is good to wait for 24 hours as well. See what else happens.
So when is the Panos? It's July 25th, isn't it?
Right, July 20th. Which again, good news for me because next Saturday night, Sunday is this fast day. All right. So anyway, that was the thing. I'm like, I'm in this really surreal twilight zone, right? Because I was talking about this on my stream the other night. That was it on Tuesday, I think, when there's all these buildings falling down that full of Jews, which I think that's kind of not a great sign, right? Not a great sign. And I've been over it before. I really do think it's connected to the sin of Rechilot. It's tell-bearing. Hang on one second. Let me find it. Let me find where it is in the Bible, because there's different levels of sinning, and sins that are like explicitly written in the Bible. They're the bad ones. They're the ones you really want to watch out for. But yeah, let me just find the Jewish, the Hebrew writing for it, and I'll look it up for you.
Well, you got the 7 deadly sins.
Is it one of the 7? No, that's not one of the 7 deadly sins.
No, but I'm saying different types of sin.
Oh, right. So here it is. It's gossip, they call it. Let's see if I can. No, that's certainly not it.
Within Catholicism, we have 2 different types of sin. We have mortal sin, which basically we believe when you're baptized, the life of God comes into your soul. And as long as you stay out of the state of mortal sin, you still have that life within you. But then there's venial sin, which are like the small sins. But the mortal sin would be like the serious things that you could do, like murder or, relations outside of marriage or outside of your marriage bonds, stuff like that.
My son always said, for a movie to be good, you've got to have all the 3. I'm not sure you have the 3 the mortal sins. I'll say with Judaism, it's murder, denying God, murder, blasphemy, and sexual impropriety. If a movie has those 3 things, it's probably good. Probably a good movie.
Well, Godfather has mostly murder. I don't think it has any sex in it, or
they got
the first one. The first one.
Well, I mean, they have. I'm just trying to find the sources. Leviticus. I think it's in Leviticus. Right. Let's see if it comes up from there. Okay. So it's Leviticus 17:16. Let me just pull that up.
I just saw. One day I'm going to learn how to pronounce your name, but are you?
Me?
No. Well, no. But I can't. Chrysaneth.
Oh yeah, it's kind of like the flower.
Okay. I didn't know there was a flower like that.
No, it's not like the flower is a chrysanthemum, but I just assume it's a sheep. Chrysanth, let us know. Are you a boy or a girl? I think you're a girl. I don't know why. I just assume you are. where was this? 1716. Now I lost the place.
I got to bring up the picture of the cannoli because it's being talked about in the chat.
Oh, here, one second. I got it right here.
I'll bring up the bakery that I'm going to.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pulling from your show on Facebook.
I basically describe this store as a place you'll walk out as a diabetic.
Yeah, and it's worth it. It's totally worth it. Right.
That is a cannoli.
Oh man, that looks good. That looks really good. So anyway, my Twilight Zone life thing that's going on is if this God is knocking down buildings full of Jews and crushing Jews because of the sin of gossip of Rechila, which is kind of what happened in my town about 2 months ago. It was like huge. I didn't shoot. I asked you. I don't know.
Well, you said you're assuming
you're a girl, but I haven't seen you. I'm a she. I don't see because you're very feminine the way you write. So there you go. That's why I assumed your gender. And the same people. There's a scroll that you read on Tisha B'Av called Echa. What's it? Lamentations, right? And it's kind of like people get very like full of pride if they're the ones reading it. Like, oh, look, and it's going to be the same people, right? So I'm thinking. I'm not saying my synagogue's going to collapse. Okay, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if I was God, right? If I was God, which I'm not. If I was God, and I know I have to send another punishment for this sin of gossip mongering, right? And the people who are the gossip mongering that put us into exile, and the people who are getting up and lamenting being in exile are the ones who are causing the exile, right? If I'm God and I'm in the mood and I'm like, we're looking at that would be a prime target for me. So my Twilight Zone is this. I can't tell anyone that because they're just going to think I'm crazy. But what if it happens? I don't know. Like if I just get through that and the building doesn't collapse, I think I will. That will make my life better.
Well, I'll show you. Talking about synagogues collapsing, it reminded me that one of the churches back home got hit with a tornado on Holy Thursday.
Oh, I saw that. You put this on Facebook, right?
Not recently.
No,
not recently. This happened back in 2006. And okay. I remember I was going home during Holy Week, we have to be back in our diocese from the seminary, and we have to take part in the services at the cathedral with the bishop. And after the Easter Vigil, we're free to go home. So I went back to my parents' house, and I got to see the damage to St. Pat's shortly after it happened. But the thing that was amazing is that building in the background, that concrete building, there was wood driven into the concrete from the tornado.
Wow.
So that's why I'm going off on that tangent.
Okay, but that reminds me. Have you seen? This is a weird segue. Have you seen the Tomorrow War yet?
Yeah, I loved it.
I really like that.
Okay, you throw out logic and reason. I mean, I did enjoy it.
Listen, it was positive about fathers and family, right? And like it was our generation saving the world from the younger generation. You know,
the only criticism I would say is they had the global warming thing in it.
Right, yeah, whatever. But listen, you can't keep.
I know, but I mean, if that's the worst thing, I mean, that's not bad.
But I just reminded of the white spikes. They fire those things from their tentacles. They go into concrete, right? Great monsters, really great monsters. Yeah. The reason those monsters were so good is the way they ran very, very fast, right? And the way they run is like a dog. They have that, and most people have dogs. So they're used to that kind of like animalistic movement, and it was just made it much more real, right? It really made it more scary. But yeah, I like that. Way better than Black Widow. Oh my God, way better.
I think I'm gonna go see it on Tuesday, mostly because it's not the opening weekend. Plus, Tuesday is our $5 movie day.
Yeah, I would say just wait till if you have Disney Plus, wait till Disney Plus.
I don't have Disney. I canceled Disney Plus a few months ago.
So do you know anything about Taskmaster? Because I
don't know too much. Is that basically in the movie? Is it the big Russian buffoon?
No, that's Red. I can't remember.
Oh, okay.
Taskmaster is the the secondary villain. Ray Winston is the main villain, but the real villain is toxic masculinity.
See, I gotta find. Okay, here we go. I just saw a question. What is the consensus of Black Widow? Let me play the little video. It's a 3-second video. I don't know if you would know this group, but here we go.
Hate it.
I do know it. Yeah, it's again. There are worse things they've done in the MCU. But it's full again. It's full of this. It's written from a standpoint of complete a completely evil worldview that men and women are interchangeable, and men have kept women under oppression for years and years and years, for like hundreds of years, which they're throwing off now because they're the best. I want to know, if men have kept women under oppression for all these years, and women are the strongest men, and they can beat up like any guy all the time, how do we oppress them?
So what would you say is the worst MCU movie?
Oh, Captain Marvel, obviously.
See, going back to the argument with the guy from Inverse Magazine, I'm trying to find my collection. Oh dear, where is it? So I've been using Twitter a lot more recently. I just posted one of the comics here we go. Let me bring that up. So one of the comics I've been collecting over the last few years is Sergeant Fury and his Howling Commandos, the World War II comic. That's my collection. And since that picture was taken, I've added 10 new comics I won in an auction.
Right.
they're currently having an auction on my comic shop for a #1 that's already graded like a 4.0. It's up to $500 already.
Wow.
But I mean, I have about 80 of those Sergeant Fury comics. So what gets me angry about Captain Marvel is a kitty cat is the reason Nick Fury lost his eye. And then when you go back to Winter Soldier, it's like the last time I trusted someone, I lost an eye. I mean, I hate what they've done to Nick Fury. Samuel L. Jackson. I like Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury.
Again, it's a war on normative sexuality. On every form of men on film.
You're right. That's men on film. That is. One of my big criticisms of it is that Red Guardian is there's nothing heroic about him, and they really should have made something heroic about him because they do need him to be a semi-heroic figure. Like there's this part in it where they have to break him out of somewhere when you and he's just a doofus and he can't. And of course, Black Widow has to go and save him, and it's just. But they could have done that where like it would have been much more exciting if he wasn't a doofus and there was just overwhelming things, and Black Widow comes in and like swings down. And if they made him like a character, like somebody that you wanted to root for, but you don't root for any. And when you take out that, it's like that game Kaplunk. You ever played Kaplunk? No.
Kaplunk is this thing.
I think I have.
It's like a perspex cube. And you put like straws through it, and you pull out the straws one by one, and then everybody goes, Kaplunk, right? It's like when you pull out these like basic fundamental things of reality, right? When you like like men are men and women are women, those sort of things, like when you basic ideas of normative reality, everything falls apart. Like everything always falls apart, which is kind of where we are with everything in culture. It's not as bad as let me think, Star Trek Discovery or Doctor Who, or Star Wars. It's better than all of the above because it's still somewhat proficiently made, but it's really not. The directing is very.
Like, let me look up this woman's IMDb. We'll share. We'll see what she's done before. My guess is not much action.
Is Red Guardian in any comics, or is that a new creation?
I think it must be. 1 second.
Let me see.
Let me share the screen.
Okay, let me
Oh, I forgot. I got to open up a new tab.
Yeah, Bankrock Trek.
1 second. Not open up a new tab. I've got to open up a new window.
Let's see, I'm just going to look up.
I'm moving to Fire. I ditched Chrome. I'm moving to Firefox.
Yeah, I'm having problems with StreamYard on Chrome.
Click the icon on the address bar to allow access. Okay. Allow. Okay. Fine. I'm just trying to work out how to do this. I had a whole paradox I'm trying to work out. There we go.
Red Guardian appeared in Avengers 43.
Okay. So let's look at Kate Shortland. Hired because she's a woman. That's really it. Hired because she's a woman. So let's look at none of these things. So she's Smilf. She did 3 episodes of that. 4 episodes of that. Right before this. I mean, really? What's Law? What's Berlin Syndrome? Is that action at all? No, a passionate holiday romance.
I don't know.
Relationship when Australian Jennifer Jones wakes up one morning in an apartment and unable to leave. Okay, again, doesn't sound like a big budget thing there. Law. Yeah, look, it's all women looking up pensively in the posters. The Allies slip across Germany. Law leads her sibling on a journey that exposes them to the truth of the parents' belief and encounter with a mysterious refugee who forces Law to rely on the person she has always been taught to hate. Okay. Again, fine, but it's not like Black Widow. It's not that type of movie. Yeah, and she doesn't have that background.
Let me bring up something. I can't remember which account I found this in, but this kind of shows you what the future is looking like.
Yeah, exactly.
And again, I actually hate the idea of Ironheart.
Yes. Although Captain Marvel 2 is now called the Marvels because everybody hates Captain Marvel.
And Miss Marvel is, I mean, Pooey.
Yeah, again, it's the MCU. And here's the thing. Chicks don't really like this sort of stuff. I don't know what to tell you. That's reality. And I know chicks are these type are men are too, toxically male and fighting. It's all the it's like was it the Gillette ad? God, that was one of the worst things of all time. But it's that's that view of masculinity as being just evil, right? And then it's just great. It's just crazy. I'm gonna tell you. So listen, the MCU is just I'm not that interested.
Well, it was good while it lasted.
It was really good. It was unbelievable while it lasted, but it's just the only reason I paid to watch that thing today is because I believe in God. That was it. That was the only because and God may say I'm not allowed to watch it. I'm not even sure without paying for it. He may say that, but I might get up to heaven and goes, "Oh, you were cool, mate. You didn't have to pay for that." Really.
I wasn't going to go see it originally, but after going through that abuse on Twitter, I'm going to have to because I want to be able to say I saw it and I hated it.
Well, look, if you want and you don't want to go to the cinema to see it, you can just buy a ticket like I did. I'll send you a copy.
Okay, I might do that.
Yeah,
what I might do is
I'm so glad I didn't go out to see this crap. Yeah, I'm so glad about that.
I might just throw extra money in the collection plate.
Yeah, I don't know. See, for me, I was thinking, first I was saying I'll buy a ticket for another movie because I don't want to get the money for it. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not right because yeah. Here's a secret: if you can compel all men and women on the planet to have the same bland cultural interest, you can make $2 billion with every bland movie, and that's why they want to shut us up. That's why you're right. That's exactly why they want to shut us up because we rock the boat. They don't like the boat being rocked. Like everything else, it's been hijacked by Holly weirdos. The trouble is, they are the Holly. Like Scarlett Johansson is a Hollywood weirdo, and I'm like. Again, another thing about the movie is about her being controlled and women being controlled. And I'm sorry, you're not. It's like the character wasn't, and you personally haven't been. The character has always been independent, but the character wasn't controlled. And Scarlett Johansson, you're not controlled either. You made all your decisions, right? You could have walked away from acting at any time. Nobody says you had to be in blockbuster movies. If you like to act, you could have done. But I'm sorry, you were extremely beautiful woman, and then you put on lots of spandex. What do you think you're hired for Ghost in the Shell for? Right? They think, oh, we need some of that Shakespeare. No, it's cut. You're hired for your figure, which they did their best to hide in this movie, but they still shone through a couple of scenes. I was
going to say, did you ever watch The Man Who Never Was? With Billy Bob Thornton. She was in it.
No, I haven't seen that. I wanted to see it though.
It's it's about a 20-year-old movie, but I think that's where I first got introduced to her.
I first saw her in that Bill Murray movie, Lost in Translation.
Oh yeah.
When she first really got my radar with The Island, I'm like, well, okay, I'll pay attention.
I never saw that one.
Listen, I wouldn't if I was you. It's basically designed to lead you to see.
Well, it's basically a movie that was copied from a 70s movie. Mystery Science Theater did a review of it. Clone. Let me see if I can bring it up. It has Peter Graves in it.
Oh, I did not know that. It's interesting.
Let me see.
But she's like 19, 20. She's very young, and she's wearing like insanely tight spandex through the entirety of that.
Let's see. Let me bring this up. While I'm doing that, do you have much going on this weekend?
Let me think. We're we've been invited out for third meal. Third meal, you're supposed to have three meals on Sabbath. On Friday night, on Saturday lunch, and then you're supposed to have a third one. So we've been invited out for the third one because so I'm on your channel. I can talk about it. Our local rabbi, who I'm sure you know I dearly love, is sadly not contract has not been renewed, and he's moving on. Very soon. So we're a bunch of people are getting together, and the question is, are we allowed to celebrate it? Right? That's basically what are we allowed to celebrate it? I don't know. Listen, it's very sad the situation that we're in because it's very, very sad. But like my analogy is, are you allowed to celebrate the downfall of the National Socialists in Germany in the 1930s? They were legally elected. They were the authority. They are the ones people who should. But yes, I think you're allowed to celebrate the downfall of evil, which I think he is. P.D. Rich, Logan's Run is way better than The Island, man. Way better. Hey,
yeah, Logan's Run is good, but this is Clonus. Parts Clonus. Basically, it was made during the 70s, and there was a lawsuit filed against The Island because it's basically a ripoff of this movie from the 70s.
Right. Okay, that's interesting. Harlan Ellison would have let them use his Outer Limits episode for There's a Basis for Terminator if they just asked him and credited him, right? That they totally would have said fine to it. But because they did it without asking him and crediting him, he sued them and got his name on the credits and got a ton of money.
Is this the original Outer Limits or the newer one?
No, the original Outer Limits. He did a episode called Soldier, which is essentially it was the premise for Terminator.
I have the first 2 seasons. I just haven't sat down to watch them all.
Yeah, 1 second. Let me have a look. I'll tell you what episode. Where it is Harlan Ellison Soldier. I met him once, Harlan Ellison. Yeah, I was at the Miami Comic Con. Must be MegaCon, right? So he's at a table and he's like going through back issues. He sees my yarmulke. He looks up at me. He says, "What are we going to do with all these?" And he uses the extra word, "Effing goyim everywhere." Goyim is a derogatory term for non-Jew. It's a Yiddish word for non-Jew, which is somewhat derogatory.
So Dead Punk made the comment that Mystery Science Theater did an episode, and the thing I loved about that episode is because Peter Graves is in it, he was the one that did biography on A&E, and they kept making that a running joke.
That's interesting. Okay, so season 2, episode 1, very good episode.
Okay. I will look for it.
Everything was at Harlan Ellison writes is pretty good. Have you ever read his first draft of City on the Edge of Forever?
No.
See, I'm always surprised that the fan, when they still allowed to do fan films, they never did an adaptation of his original script, which was a lot better. A lot better. I got that book over there. That's the book you should try and find. Let me see if it was on Amazon. On the Edge of Forever script.
I gotta say that's probably one of my favorite. That's the one with Elizabeth Taylor, isn't it?
Yeah. So here,
I love that episode. I remember watching that for the first time as a kid. I mean, that whole story just blew me away.
Okay, so the original script though is so much better, and I know it blows your mind thinking about it. Here, this is it. It's what was it? Amazon. I'm supposed to show Amazon.
Is this the one where they put the Star Trek released novels of the TV show?
They did here. You can throw it up. This is not authorized because he told you the whole story about what happened and how he got screwed over. It's fantastic, right? It's so good. It's so freaking good.
I'm gonna get the audiobook because I will be on the beach in 3 weeks and I'm gonna listen to it.
If he narrates the audiobook, it's gonna be awesome because it's hidden. Like here, why don't we click on it? So see who does the audiobook. Because it's his story. Harlan Ellison. He's the narrator. Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to that. Yes. You got to get that. Hey, let's play a sample.
You have the audio shared?
As camera moves with her, even though holding the Enterprise men in foreground as their heads move to follow her passage.
Okay, so reading the actual script might be a bit dull, but here's his essay beforehand. Brilliant. Just absolutely brilliant. I love that. Perils of the City. It's really good.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look for that.
Yeah, recommend it highly.
So,
wow, the hour's up already.
It is. I was just going to say, I'm going to start wrapping things up. I'm going to be streaming again this afternoon, and my cat
Friday
just got
night
into
stretch.
my coffee cup.
Friday stretch. Is it
Friday afternoon stretch before Friday night tights. I will have the link for StreamYard in the chat. Last week I put it in the title, and I got a troll that came on, and when I added him, he started showing porn on my channel.
Oh, really? That's
and I'm like trying to click the disconnect part.
Right.
We'll be doing that at 3:00 Central for those that want to join. And with that, I think we'll wrap it up. Thank you again for joining me. I'll be on your channel next week. And yes, Dead Punk, he was talking about City on the Edge of Forever. So I'm going to look that up. So I'm hitting the end button. We'll talk to everyone.